I miss Lisa and the boys. I should never have come.
What else are we going to do? There's nothing on telly.
Okay. I suppose you're all wondering why I've called you here today.
We're not wondering, though, are we? We can pretend.
It's been a most perplexing case. Why would someone commit murder in the middle of the apocalypse? No one hopes to inherit money anymore, and there are very few ways to benefit from a death. One clear answer suggested itself. An event in the past so terrible that vengeance had to be taken. And the person who took revenge wanted it to be them alone who did it. Our murderer wanted to kill Callum themselves. Nothing else would do.
There's no shortage of people Callum had pissed off, though.
Pissed off, yes. But incensed to the point of murder? Callum's stories weren't in the business of ruining lives, just mocking them. But even with every story of his that you could remember, Manisha, I couldn't find one that would incite this sort of hatred.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, he did me the power of good. I'd never have said this to him, but after there were all those pictures of me in the paper hitting that bloke, I started being offered all these tough guy roles.
Okay, well, Callum's gossip columns probably didn't get him killed. So what did?
Well, for a while I thought it must be his personal life. We know he slept with Manisha's wife.
I didn't care. Well, not really.
And as they said, if Manisha or Keith wanted to kill Callum, there was no need to wait until they were holed up in a house with a group of strangers.
They weren't all strangers. Rose turned out to be Callum's sister, so we all naturally thought she must have been the murderer.
Well, we all know she wasn't now. May she rest in peace.
Well, that was odd too. She seemed to go willingly to her death, as if she knew what the grievance was, or suspected it. We have the murder on tape. Listen to this again.
I see, yeah. What have you got there? Ah. Yeah, that's what I thought. You've got the same way of moving she had.
Did you all hear that?
It sounded like...
Someone unfolding some paper. Well, that doesn't get us very far, does it? We can't read the paper through a tape recording.
I have an idea what it might be. We have come across some paper that someone tried to get rid of.
That scrapbook we found burnt in the boiler? So it was about one of Callum's stories.
But not his gossip column. The page torn out of the book was from very early on in that scrapbook.
But that's from when he was working on really serious journalism. Exposing injustice, going after big corporations like Pandora
Hayes, whose technological country retreat we're sitting in right now. You were right, Sheila, when you raised the fireproof doors downstairs. It is a Pandora Hayes property. I suspect that's why it became irresistible to our murderer as a place to enact some poetic justice.
But Callum didn't hurt anyone with that story about Pandora Hayes. He didn't even get the top brass in charge of the company. They poisoned thousands of people, and even after everything he did, almost no one went to jail for it.
Hold that thought for a moment. I suspect that's the motive, but we need to discuss means and opportunity.
Well, we all know what the means was, love. Even I know, and I wasn't here. Callum was killed by the prof's poison.
But the prof who's conveniently scarpered. I mean, it really seems like it was him, Chris.
Let's go over all the evidence before we jump to conclusions.
Rose was strangled. No mystery there. Any of you could have grabbed the poison or the wire.
Do you remember, just before Callum died, the doorbell rang?
No, wait. Oh, yeah. That was weird. I mean, there must have been one of the zombies pressing on it.
The zombies hadn't gotten through the fence yet.
Short circuit?
We seem to have it working perfectly now. Jody, press that button on the remote control.
Oh, that's mad of the zombies. Great.
But the control panels weren't working when we arrived. And we all got here together, or almost together. You'd have to be a tech genius to get that working in a few minutes before dinner.
To do it in a few minutes, yes. But remember, someone had been listening to Callum's messages.
Oh, God. Someone heard all his plans.
We all seemed to arrive together, and we seemed to pick it by chance. But we found that note Rose had made of which day to get here. So Callum knew he was coming here. So anyone who was intercepting his phone messages could have known where he was heading.
You mean one of us got here first?
That's exactly what I mean. Someone got here first, set up the house, and then pretended to arrive with the rest of us. And looked at it that way around, everything's different.
That's the last door down on the ground floor. The zombies are through.
So, get to the point, Chris. Which of you do you think it was? Not Callum or Rose. Not Manisha and not Keith, by your logic. And we all agree it couldn't have been you or Jody. By my reckoning, that leaves me...